foil, just whatever aluminum foil that you have at home. You'll need a piece of that. You'll also need a Ziploc baggie. Depending on the size of your container that you're going to use, you'll need either a gallon size or maybe even a sandwich size. It just depends. Or if you don't have a Ziploc baggie, some saran wrap can also be used, but you need some kind of clear wrap. You'll also need either a pizza box, or if you don't have a pizza box, you may be able to use a cereal box, an empty cereal box, or something that I'm going to do at school because I didn't have enough pizza boxes or cereal boxes, is I actually went to Dollar Tree and found some hamburger boxes. So we're going to actually make some solar ovens out of these. So I'll put pictures of all these different kinds put together, attached to this so that you can kind of see the variations that you can make of this. You don't have to go out and buy anything if you don't want to. I mean, these should be things, hopefully, that you have at home. Something else that you'll need. Sorry, I'm talking about what else you need. You need a black piece of paper. It can be construction paper, wrapping paper. It could be that, you know, you have a cereal box or something that's black. I don't know. Just whatever you have, a black piece of paper, though. And then you'll need either some newspaper. You could probably get some Thrifty Nickels for free, or brown paper sacks. Some of the grocery stores have those. This is a brown sack that, again, I got like a package of them at Dollar Tree also so that we can use these in the classroom. But you'll need some of that to help with some insulation. You'll also need some tape and some glue and a pair of scissors. And then in order to make your s'more, you'll need graham cracker, some marshmallows, and then you can either use Hershey Kisses, Hershey bars, or these are just some little Hershey chocolate chips that we're going to use. So they're small. I figured that would work well. And I went ahead and for school, I got the small marshmallows so we don't have to break them in half, and I think that they'll melt better and quicker. So I'm going to set these ingredients to the side for right now so you can kind of see me put one of these solar ovens together. So I'm going to, let's see, I think I'll just make one out of this hamburger box on this video, and then I'll put pictures of the other ones. So the first thing that we want to do, make sure that it will close well. Whenever we put this outside, we may need to kind of weight it down somehow. We may have to put like a rock on it or something, or put it somewhere outside. If there's any wind, we'll have to put it somewhere where it's kind of outside of the wind. Okay, so what we want to do is determine which one is the top, and we want to kind of cut a slit in it. What we're wanting to do is make a flap. I want to be careful not to just completely break this. I've never tried this with the styrofoam. I'm assuming it will work the same as the cardboard, though. Okay, so I've kind of got a flat cut. I've cut 3 sides of it. You don't want to cut all 4. You cut 3 sides, and then you want to kind of bend it up. Okay, and I'm going to kind of straighten that up so that my flap, there we go, so that it's a little more of a square. Okay, and don't break that off. This is what is going to have your aluminum foil on it, and will allow you to reflect the sun's light. Okay, so we've got our outside part cut. Okay, now what we want to do is take a piece of this black paper, and we want to cut it to be about the size of the bottom. Okay, we're going to use this to absorb the sun's heat. Dark colors, if you've noticed, if you've ever been outside on a day where you're wearing like a dark black shirt and it's really sunshiny, your dark black shirt will get incredibly hot. So it's because it absorbs the sun's heat energy. Okay, it absorbs the sun's light. So we're going to put this, just place this in the bottom. You can put a little bit of glue on it to hold it in place if you feel like you need to, if you're worried about it running around. Don't put too terribly much glue, just dot, dot, not a lot. Okay, so I've got that glued in. And then I'm going to take my brown paper sack and I'm going to kind of crumple it up. Okay, this is going to form insulation. Okay, it's going to help to insulate this. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. And then I may actually cut it into 2. And then kind of crumple it up around the outside edge of this. And what this does is insulation doesn't allow heat to pass through it. So I'm going to kind of crumple it up around the edges. And what we're wanting to do is once that heat gets in there and it starts being absorbed by that black paper, we want to keep it from escaping. And so the way that we're going to do this is we're going to kind of insulate our container. Okay, so we're leaving a space right here on the black paper to put our graham cracker. You can see how I did that in the pizza box. We used newspaper whenever I made this one. Okay, so we're just doing that same thing here. We may want to use a little tape to secure it in place. You want to make sure though that you're not taping it to where the lid won't close. Okay, that is one thing that we found out whenever we did the pizza boxes last year. You have to be kind of careful how you tape it in because you want to make sure that your pizza box still closes. Okay. Tape's going to stick to me. Okay, so I just kind of taped it in a couple spots, and we're just trying to get it, to stay in there and to insulate our container. Okay, so once we've got that in, you can see I've got my black paper in the bottom, got my insulation. Okay, so with this container, I can use a small Ziploc baggie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, if you have the fold over kind, you may not have to do much cutting, but with this one, I'm going to have to cut off the zipper part. And then I really just want one piece of plastic thick. So I'm going to cut this baggie along the seams also. And what this does is it's plastic, and the clear plastic is transparent. Okay, that means you can see completely through it. It's clear. So it's going to allow the sun's light through it. Okay, and because it's a plastic is an insulator, it's not going to allow the heat to easily escape. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover this hole with it. I'm actually going to need to cut this down just a tiny bit more. So you'll just want to cut it just slightly larger than the hole that you have in the top of your container. And then from the inside of the container, you'll tape it into place. Okay, so you trim it down to a size, place it on the inside of your container and that clear, kind of pull it tight and tape it down. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do with this is we want to use some foil to reflect the sun's light into that hole. We want to make sure that the sun's light goes into that. So we're going to take a piece of foil. It doesn't take a lot of foil, it just takes a little bit. You're just going to get a piece of foil and you're actually going to cover this little flap. Okay? And, just like the other, I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. Okay, and you may even put a little piece of tape to hold it. So there is the basic solar oven. Okay, and now we're going to do our experiment and we'll fill out our form with this. Okay. And like I said, I'll put pictures of the different variations on here. With this one, I may not use a pencil to hold it open. I may use like a toothpick or something just so that I can adjust this to where it'll shine the sun's light onto the s'more. All right, after you have put together your solar oven out of your pizza box or cardboard box or whatever you've chosen to use, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up. You want to make sure that it's on a hot, sunny day in the afternoon, preferably on a day when it's not too terribly windy. And what we'll do is we're going to put our s'mores. Okay, so we're going to use our graham cracker. We're going to try to put it in the middle of the pizza box on the black paper, so that because the black paper is going to absorb some heat. So we want to put our graham cracker there. And then we're going to put our chocolate, either our Hershey Kiss or our chocolate chip or our Hershey bar. We're gonna put it on the graham cracker, and then also our marshmallow. I'm gonna break this marshmallow in half just so that it's a little smaller. Maybe it will get hotter quicker. I don't know. We're gonna just see what happens. Okay, so once we have that in there set up, and remember we've got our newspaper here that's going to insulate this so the heat won't be able to escape. And again, the cardboard box is also that same way. It's an insulator so the heat cannot escape it. We're gonna set this up to where the foil will reflect the sun's light. Right now the sun is like right up here, so I'm gonna kind of try to face this foil to where it's actually reflecting the light onto the s'more. So it's gonna go through the translucent baggie onto the s'more, and it's gonna heat up the s'more. So we're using the sun's light to reflect off of the foil through the plastic wrap and onto the black paper and onto the s'more. So it's going to absorb heat. So the s'more is going to receive heat not only from the reflection of the sun onto it, but also from that paper as that paper absorbs the heat. Okay, now the way we're going to get this to stay, where did my pencil go? We're going to use, there it is, we're going to use a pencil to kind of prop this open, and you may have to kind of adjust it because you want to make sure that the sun is going to shine down onto that s'more. Now before I do this, I don't know if you'll be able to do this at home or not. Now if you can, you know, go ahead and do it. I'm going to take a temperature of the paper and of the s'more right now before we, it'll let me. I don't know if this thermometer is going to work very well because this is meant for, it's just telling me it's high.
Meant for people.
It's meant for a person, so I'm not sure if it'll work. Let's see here. Let's see if I could do something different that'll make it work. Oh, you know what? There's a way to change it from body temperature, so let me do that. If I can.
We're back.
Okay, it's saying it's 104 degrees. I don't know how accurate this is. If I had a small thermometer like I do at the school, I'm at home right now, I would put it in here. So I may try to do that on another day and kind of add that into this video. But for right now, we have a temperature, and right now you can also feel your paper and just kind of see the way it feels before it actually gets a lot of the sun's heat onto it, sun's light shine onto it. So we're going to close our pizza box, make sure it's secure. We're going to set this up to where the sun's light is going to shine onto this s'more, and then we're going to kind of go take a break. We're going to fill out our form that we've created. There we go, that's shining on there pretty good. We're gonna fill out our form and answer some of the questions about some of this stuff. You'll fill it out with me. And then in about 30 minutes, we'll come and check on it and kind of see what's happened to our chocolate and our marshmallows and see if they've melted at all. And we'll also fill that black paper and kind of see if it feels warmer to the touch.
Nice stop. Oh. Go.
Okay, it's been about a half an hour of direct sunlight reflecting off of the foil and onto our s'more through our plastic film, onto the s'more and onto the black paper. So we're gonna go ahead and see what's happened here.
I did.
Okay, so you can feel the black paper. It's a lot warmer. You can see here the chocolate has melted. Okay, the marshmallows have kind of started getting a little squishier. If I take the temperature, if it'll let me, let's see. It's saying it's 105.4. I think earlier it was like 104 is what it said. I don't know how accurate this thermometer is. I'll probably do the other one at school and kind of see. But now you have used a solar oven to melt chocolate and heat up your marshmallows, and you can enjoy. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use this piece of paper. Now, if you're doing it digitally, then what you might need to do is to draw it out and then take a picture of it and upload it into this document. Or you may be able to use, I don't know how talented you are with your mouse or with your finger or whatever, being able to draw with it on the computer screen, but you may be able to sketch it out digitally on the computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sketch the one with the hamburger box. You can do the pizza box one, the hamburger box one. I take it back. I'm going to do the pizza box one because if you are unable to build this, like you don't have the supplies, you don't have the funds, you don't have the leftover pizza box or the cereal box or the foil or the plastic baggie or whatever, you don't have the more supplies, what I'm going to have you do is sketch out the one from the video that I did at my house. So we're going to do the pizza box. So we're going to take the pizza box. Okay, got my box. Okay, so here's my opening. This one will be my flap with the foil on it. Okay, so Pizza Hut was on there. This is a little bit crooked, but you get the idea of it. Okay, this is the plastic wrap. Okay, inside, we're going to kind of do an inside diagram too. Okay. And we're going to label the different parts of this. Okay, so we have newspaper, foil, clear baggie, or Ziploc, or however you want to label that. We have our pizza box, the newspaper, or that's what y'all saw in, or it may be a brown paper sack or whatever. Okay, so you're going to draw and you're going to label the drawing. Okay, so then and then we'll color it as well. I'll take my colored pencils and let's see. Usually Pizza Hut is in red. Let's see if I can find a brown. Okay, and then we have our foil. Okay, and then our newspaper. I know we don't see that from the outside, but we went ahead and labeled it just because it is important to realize that it's inside that pizza box. Okay, so now once we have our diagram labels, we're going to go down and answer some questions, okay? Now, some of these questions don't necessarily pertain to the way that we did this. I did not give us a time, just a time limit. So we're going to answer, did you complete your solar oven in the time allotted? Well, yes, of course we did, because we didn't have a time limit. What materials did you use to absorb heat and directly heat the s'mores? Now, what did we say was going to absorb the heat? This is where you need to make sure that you're writing the correct information, okay, because this is for a grade. So what material did you use to absorb heat? We used the black paper, okay? Don't just put the paper, put the black paper, because I want to make sure that you understand that darker colored items are going to absorb heat. What material did you use to keep heat in the box? Okay, so what insulated it? It's either going to be newspaper or the brown paper bag. Okay. What was the highest temperature the inside of your oven reached? Well, on ours, the thermometer I had at home, we were able to get it to 105.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and I know in science we use Celsius on that thermometer. I could not get it to change for the life of me. Whenever we do this in the classroom, I'll check again and I can kind of let y'all know how that went. So did your marshmallow begin to melt? Yes, it got soft. Did your chocolate melt? Yes, it melted a whole lot. Okay. Now on the back of this, we have some more questions, which on the back of y'all's, it's just the second slide. So what was the purpose of the plastic wrap? The plastic wrap allowed light in and help, shouldn't say but, and helped keep the heat from escaping. Okay, what was the purpose of the foil? The foil reflected the light, or the sun's light. So what was the purpose of the newspaper? The newspaper insulated the box. It did not allow the heat to escape. So what was the purpose of the black paper? The black paper absorbed, if I can write, heat, which transferred to the s'more. Okay, how do you think you can improve your solar oven so it can reach an even higher temperature? So we could try maybe to add insulation, add more insulation, leave it for longer than 30 minutes. Maybe put it out on a hotter day. And you may have some other ideas. Okay, so I hope that you learned a few things from this activity, this investigation. This is kind of an introduction to our thermal energy unit. It's not really a standalone unit, it's part of our energy unit, but we talked for about a week and a half to 2 weeks about thermal energy specifically. Okay, so we're going to learn some more about insulators, and we're going to learn about what a conductor is whenever it comes to thermal energy. And we're going to talk about absorption of light whenever we get to light energy. So this in reflection also whenever we get to light energy. So this kind of starts you thinking about some of these components about light energy and thermal energy. Okay, so this is just a great introductory activity. Again, if you can't build it, that's okay. Just use what you learned from my video to fill this page out, you know, along with what I'm totally fine with you writing exactly what I wrote on here and typing that exact thing in. You may need to toggle back and forth, you know, to pause and type in your answers. That's totally fine as well. I'm just wanting you to write down and to learn some things about thermal energy and light energy. Using this solar oven. It's just a fun activity that kind of gets us thinking about all that.